Welcome to Cohesive Friendship Unit. I am Chris, and I am here with Brian,
Still just Brian.
and we are going. So sad. We're going to be talking about the future of the PS4 and PlayStation in general. But real quick, if you like this video, please throw us a like. We appreciate it. Comment below with what you think about the PlayStation 4 and the price drop that's coming up. And if you love us, please sub us. That subscription enters you for a chance to win a Steam code. Next giveaway is at 200 subs. We're at about 160 right now. All right, let's get right into it. Basically, what's going on is the PlayStation 4 is getting a price drop in Japan to around $300, and the PS4 Pro is getting a price drop down to $350, along with various other bundle price drops. Basically, they're starting to not only push the PS4 out in general, but they're starting to squeeze the prices so close that it almost doesn't make a whole lot of sense to get a regular PS4. And a lot of the PS4 Pro bundles, they come with games. So basically for 350, you're doing pretty good. And I'll point out that currently the PS4 Pro's competition is the Xbox One X, which is still selling for 500 US dollars. It is a more powerful machine, but so
Really, I mean, it's
yeah, well, the fact of the matter is, until Microsoft starts pushing out some first-party games, yeah, why would you pay 150 more for it? But yeah, I just want to talk about kind of what this means, because this is, to me, this says that the PS4 Pro is kind of going to be Sony's, like, console. Like, that's what they're pushing now. They're not pushing the PS4. They're doing price cuts on it. They're edging it so it's so close you might as well just buy a PS4 Pro. The benefits you get just totally outweigh the cost. And this is kind of the first time ever that a home console is officially like 4K ready or whatever. Like the not the upgraded console, but the console that the company's pushing is 4K capable. And what that kind of means for PS4's life and PS5. Like, is this kind of like the swan song? Where are we at? This is also the PS4 Pro's second birthday.
I mean, it makes sense if you think about it. You don't want to have, because we were talking about this beforehand, and there's some pretty substantial differences hardware wise between the two.
Yeah.
You don't want to run two production lines if you don't have to. You're losing money on that.
And
So,
and
like,
it seems like they're bringing the price down so much further than the Xbox One X. Like, $150 is no
yeah,
joke.
$350 for a 4K capable console that can run pretty much, well, actually everything at 1080 or 60 frames at the lower
Everything, yeah.
resolutions up to 1080. Like, that's a pretty good deal. And when your nearest competitor's 500, like, I wonder why the Xbox isn't selling so well.
There's a reason Sony's running away. And like, yeah, you can see some of the chinks in the armor. Like the Xbox One X has a faster hard drive. It is more capable hardware wise. It is a little bit beefier, but 350 is a lot
But
different from 500.
and the PS4 Pro is like, it's just overclocked. So there's untapped hardware potential there that, if it can run everything on the market at 1080 at 60 frames,
Well,
like,
everything with a patch. Everything the developers patch in. Yeah.
right, but it's the hardware is capable of
Yeah,
doing
the
it. If
hardware is
you're
capable.
willing to update your code to make it work, like, the hardware is
Yeah,
capable of
and
doing it. I
all the
think that's
big games
fine.
like the Call of Duties and like the first party Sony games have this patch. And it's no different for the Xbox One X. Like that also needs patches for their games.
Right, but it's $150.
Yeah.
And you're getting effectively the same thing with less gigas. Like, if you wanted to, you could get a VR thing for your PS4 Pro.
Yeah, you could get a
You
PS4
can't,
Pro and a PSVR, yeah.
right? And then you get kind of the, not that that's real VR, but that's, it's close enough for most people. And the Xbox doesn't have anything like that,
Yeah.
do they?
I mean, shit, you could just get your PS4 Pro and, you know, pick up 3 games, like 3 brand new games.
Right,
You can
and
pick up
then
3 new exclusives, Microsoft. That
and you're still well, you're a little bit behind, but
yeah, a little bit.
you're not that bad off.
Yeah.
$30.
Well, so I don't know. I found, does this mean that we've like kind of officially breached that like 4K barrier? Because this is like
No.
okay.
See, the thing is, I don't think anybody but Sony has the capability to really chase it. Microsoft doesn't have their
No,
shit together
I meant for the
enough.
consumer, because like the last 2 years, 4K panels have just been like plummeting, and it's kind of at the point where like if you're going out on Black Friday, you're getting a 4K TV, whether or not you want one. That's just like whatever size you
they're out
want is
there.
4K.
Yeah.
And now this is kind of like this is a gaming console, which are, you know, typically a little behind on the times for technology. Unless you get them the year they come out, they're only going to get older. But this is like I would say not necessarily affordable, but it's the primary piece of hardware Sony's pushing right now, and it's 4K capable. Is this like kind of the beginning of like everyone going 4K, kind of like when everyone went HD?
I think you're seeing kind of the same thing. What's going on is the manufacturers are gearing up, and initially there's not a whole lot of supply, so the prices are really high, and there's only a few people making the 4K TVs. But then other people either steal the technology or figure out how to do it themselves, and you start getting more of them on the market. And that's pretty much what happened with HD. It was like a year and all of a sudden everything was HD. Like everything was, and they were cheap. I think that only gets faster, you know, with technology advancing and with manufacturers getting used to, okay, we're making LED panels or whatever. You're only going to see that accelerate. So I think that it is kind of the same thing, and in a sense we're breaking into the 4K
It's like the beginning
market, but I don't see that anybody has the ability to chase it beyond Sony. Like, Nintendo isn't looking at this. Nintendo doesn't care about this, and
Dude,
Microsoft.
The Wii was fucking standard def.
Yeah, but that's not what their market is. The Wii was the Wii. People bought the Wii because it was different, and people buy the Switch, I think, because it's different. Like, it's not a standard gaming console. Really, the only 2 people left in that game are Microsoft and Sony, and Microsoft ain't doing so well right now.
Yeah.
So
So do you think this is like is this kind of the swan song of the PS4? Like, now we're only pushing the best latest and greatest PS4 because it's kind of aging a little bit. And is the PS5 going to be a 4K machine, or is it going to be a 1080 machine?
I don't think it would make any sense that if the PS5 happens, like I've said it, but I think the consoles are on the way out. I think that this is a swan song for consoles in general.
I think they'll try until they fail. Like, I think
they'll
they'll
try
have a
until they
generation
fail.
until the generation flops.
But that is coming sooner and sooner. I think we're seeing the end of this with, I mean, if you want to just ignore all of the facts and look at Microsoft stuff, which, by the way, you could see in one of our other videos, you can, like, it's moved the mobile hardware and the stuff that people have that's not a gaming console is so capable that you don't need a dedicated machine to play video games anymore. And the question is really just one of implementation. Like, is Microsoft doing it right with this Xbox thing? I don't think so. But could it be done right? Yeah, it could. I just and the other thing is, I don't know that, like, when you go from 4K to 8K, do you really notice that much? Like, you get to a point where
you get
you're
diminishing returns, yeah.
Right. So you buy the latest and best TV, and it really doesn't look that much better than your old one.
Yeah, and I mean, I personally, I can definitely see the difference between 4K and 1080, but it's not as big of a leap from standard def to 1080, you know?
Right, or even 720 to 1080. Like
Yeah.
it's you're losing, it's diminishing returns. It's exactly what you said. So like if you're spending more and more money to put into your console hardware to keep up with this technology that people more and more don't really care about because they're not seeing the difference. At least in my mind, it may go completely different. I don't know that it's necessarily going to get any better from here. And that's why I would say it's the swan song for consoles in general, because I think that the future, that the PS5 might be the beginning of the end. Might be.
Yeah, I'm really curious how they're going to do this next gen, because I'm kind of the belief that we could very easily see two consoles launch, kind of like how we have a PS4 and a PS4 Pro now. I could very easily see a PS5 and a PS5 Pro, except launching day one, where the 5 is basically just 1080, and the 5 Pro is the 4K version. And if you want out of the gate, because like you said, hardware is going to get more expensive to push this. If you want a very capable 1080p machine that's going to at least have the hardware to meet the specifications to run these games at 1080p, great. Then you can get it for, $250, $300. But if you want the latest and greatest, you can have that $500 4K machine to start. It's kind of how that, I don't know. I'm intrigued how this is going to go.
I would see it more as they discontinue the PS4 standard. PS4 Pro becomes their entry level model. Maybe at some point just becomes the PS4, and then the PS5. No, the PS4, and then the PS5 comes on sale at the same time, or somewhat concurrently, and that has 60 FPS 4K for people that want that extra boost. Because I don't think you're gonna see a huge market for the 1080p stuff. And again, it goes back to the question of running two lines. Like, how much of a difference is there between the PS5 and the PS5 Pro, or the PS4 Pro and the PS5, or whatever they have in the pipeline? I think that's going to be a lot of what dictates what actually happens.
It's weird being in this like mid-cycle space, because this is really the first time that we've had like not a mid-cycle refresh, but one that the consoles got substantially more powerful. And it's weird. Like for me, I bought a PS4 this year in March, and I personally wouldn't feel gypped if like next year a PS5 dropped. But I wonder how they're gonna handle that. Like if PS4 Pro owners, because this is only the console's second year birthday or whatever, and the Xbox One, this is their first anniversary. So, and these are your big spenders. These are your people spending $500 or around there. It would be interesting to see if there's any kind of backwards compatibility where like the Xbox One X becomes the 1080p version of the Xbox 2 or something. It's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be a fun road to play.
I mean, I really hope there won't be an Xbox 2.
There will be, definitely. He said at E3 there's gonna be,
But
more competition's always a good thing, right?
If the competition is actually competition, then
ouch. All right, well, at least, I mean, the Wii U is harder to watch.
I mean, the Wii U is just difficult.
That's, fuck. I don't want to get into this. All right, do you have anything else to say?
Yeah, well, if you're still hoping that they're going to increase your PS1's resolution up to 4K, so you can get those sweet polygons, make sure to hammer that on down on the word box. Yeah, I fucking know it works if you fucking plug it in. So don't hammer that in the word box. But if you have anything constructive to say, you can hammer that on down in the word box. And while you're at it, like Chris said at the beginning of the video, if you sub to us, you may get a chance to win a Steam code for some dank games. So go ahead and click on that sub button while you're at it. Click the ringy dingy with all the cohesive updates from the cohesive friendship, cohesive channel. Yeah. And smoke them if you got them, guys. That's all for me tonight, Chris.
All right, thanks, Brian. Catch you guys next time.